Hey guys, I'm Blair Rankin. Welcome to Trusted Tradies, and just a quick little video. We had a gentleman the other day who was talking about quite a poignant subject, which is doing lots and lots of quoting, taking time to do the quotes properly, and then someone comes in, quotes half the price, and you lose the job and shits you off because you've just spent 2 hours doing the quote for no reason, and there's no way you could have ever beaten the competition. So I've written up something here. This is just a simple little tool that I do, which may or may not help, but I think it will. This triangle here represents all of the hours that I put into my business every week. So it includes paid work and quoting and all that sort of stuff. This largest section of the triangle here is called earners. Earners are, of course, jobs where you go to someone's house, you do the job, you send them a bill, they pay you, and you use that money to pay your bills and put some in your pocket, and hopefully a little bit falls out the bottom. That section has to be the biggest part of the triangle, because if you turn the triangle upside down, it's not going to work. The triangle is going to fall over, and very quickly you find yourself broke and out of business. So your earners have to be the biggest part of the triangle. That's what's going to keep everything else rolling. The next biggest part is one that I call keepers. Now, keepers are a funny one. They are things like, if you've got a builder that gives you work all the time, and he rings you up and says, "Hey, I just need you to come and do a little job at my place." That's a keeper. You're going to go there. You're going to do this little job. You're not going to charge him. You're going to have a beer with him after the job's done. It's a keeper because you're keeping that customer. If you work for let's say you work for the local council, and you've got this job that's gone pretty bad, and if you put the bill in as it is, you're going to lose that contract, or they're going to be shirty with you. You just fudge that number up so you either break even, or even if it costs you a little bit, it doesn't matter. That's a keeper. It's not about making money on that job. It's about keeping your client. That's what keepers are all about. When I go on holidays from my business, my perspective shifts. The whole time I'm at work, the focus is making money and making sure that the customers are happy second. When I go on holiday and I leave the guys in charge, I say to them, I don't give a shit about making money. I give a shit about making sure that we don't lose any customers while I'm away. So the focus of the business shifts to keepers instead of earners. They still have to earn their way. They still have to make money, for sure. But if they have to drive from one town to another to do one job to keep that customer happy, absolutely, that's the priority, because you're keeping the clients happy. The last thing I want to do is get home from holidays and find that one of my best clients is gone because there's been some mix-up, miscommunication or something. No one's necessarily done anything wrong, but we haven't got to the job fast enough. So that's another example of what a keeper is. And the last one is learners. And learners are things like, learners are jobs where you don't get paid. In fact, it costs you money to do a learner. It might be going to TAFE and doing going to TAFE half a day a week to learn a new skill. It might be going to, a friend of mine works for Harvey Norman. He's a gas fitter, and he puts in cooktops and ovens and stuff like that. So he said to Harvey Norman, I'll put on a Harvey Norman shirt. I'm going to come one day a week, and I'm just going to follow the white good guys around. And he got to know what they said to the customer and how they sold the products, how they informed the products of what they were like, the customers of what the products were like. So that when he went to their house to install the product, he was just regurgitating the same flavor of the information that they've already got. He wasn't saying stuff that was completely different, and that way he gets to know Harvey Norman. He gets to develop more rapport with them, gets to solidify himself inside that business relationship, and the flavor of the conversation is the same all the way through, right the way through. That's a keeper. That's a learner. So, of course, the learner triangle has got to be small. It's got to be very small. because you're paying money to actually do those things. So earners, the largest one, keepers, middle size, learners, very, very small. Now, in terms of the quoting that we were talking about at the start of the video, you have to figure out where in that triangle the quoting is. If you spend all your time quoting, then you're not making any money and your business is going to fall over. So something that you might be able to do is say, okay, well, I'm only going to do two of those big quotes a week. Therefore, you've got all this other time allocated down here. And if someone rings you up, which is the third quote in the week, you say, yep, I'll do it on Monday next week. And that way you guarantee that you're only spending a certain amount of time of unpaid hours per week. You're not going to just spend your whole week doing quotes that you don't get. Something like that. So yeah, something like this, a very simple little tool, but what it did for me is it stopped myself kicking myself. Every time someone said, oh, can you just come around to my house and just have a look at this job? I'd go, oh, fuck. Here I go. I'm going to go around there. I'm going to spend an hour talking to them and I can't charge them for it. And it used to get me upset. Once I integrated this into my system, I was like, yep, absolutely. So that's a little learner. I've got a certain amount of time allocated per week to go around there, have a look, convince the guy to take me on. And the learning section for me was that I would try and sign him up right there. And, that was a skill that I was honing. That was the thing that I was learning. Hope you got something out of it. Please direct message me or leave a comment below. It'd be great. Thanks, guys. See ya.